is Ken with VOD TV at the Parks Associates Smart Energy Summit. We're with John LaCour of DMN3 Services. You provide a very important role in this, and that is educating the consumer. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what you guys do?
Absolutely. I mean, I think that the component that a lot of people don't realize is how little everyone knows about the market, and then taking what these companies already know and sharing that with the market to grow not only the awareness but just an overall education piece, so that they say, yeah, I want this, is an important aspect of the market.
We spoke a little bit about this, but inertia is a huge thing, right? People are used to doing things. You're really asking them to do something different and break into something new. How do you do that?
Well, there's so many segments to the market, right? You've got people that are really willing to adopt things early, your early adopters, people that are going to come along at some point in time, and then you've got your inertia, or even inerts in some instances. And this, no matter what you do for them, they're not going to do anything. It's a smaller percentage of the market, but it's still probably 20 to 30%. And then you have another group that's kind of more of the inerts, if you want to call them those, and they will be moved if you can get the proper value proposition to them. And in this case, it has to be something that's easy for them to implement, there's no risk, and perfect world, it's saving them money or has an environmental challenge that is taken care of.
Well, and it seems like the Texas market is pretty well developed in terms of competition. And where do you see kind of the smart home in terms of the market penetration? Are we still in that early adoption stage?
Absolutely. I mean, the early adoption here in Texas, but even nationally, truly internationally, there's some other countries that are moving along much faster. But here, the exciting part is that we're getting so many smart meters into the homes in Texas. The deregulated nature of the market here provides for a faster acceptance, we believe, for a lot of these new products, because it's something that these deregulated companies can use to differentiate themselves from their competitors. So definitely in the early adoption, and it's a lot of test and trial, and once everything gets worked out, and again we get over those hassle and risk factors, I think that there will be a lot faster adoption.
And so the question is, how do you talk to those consumers, especially the ones that are not the early adopters?
Yeah, and it's really taking and ensuring that you've got all of those components to it. You want to segment the market. You want to get down to as personal a message as you can. But at the same time, they have so many factors that impact what they make a decision with. So let's say that they're very price sensitive. Well, we're going to shout price, but I'm not, again, I don't care if it's, I can get the savings from it if I can't get a ease of use with the product and things like that. Now, there are always the value people out there who, I'll spend 4 hours setting it up, and I'll go down to Home Depot and do it myself if I can save $100, and so that's a different set. But all of those issues are still issues for all the market.
And from your perspective, you work with the utilities to get those messages out.
Correct. I mean, in Texas in particular, we have two direct people that we're dealing with, the utilities, because they have what they call the transmission and distribution, the poles and wires, and then the retail electricity providers who actually sell the energy to the customers. So in that instance, we're dealing with two different distinct bodies. The retail electricity providers are actually our market.
Okay.
The utilities, they have to provide the service anyway. So getting something out to their customers isn't necessarily as important as it is for the retail electricity provider. In most other markets in the United States, the utilities, especially if they're not deregulated, the utilities control that messaging. And their idea is, what is the message that I can get to a group of consumers to say this is the right thing to do? Because it benefits them. So how do we get the benefits of the consumer to the consumer? So that's what we have.
Well, with it's the retail market here, it sounds like, do you have the same kind of cultural concerns in terms of the company that you would with the utility mindset?
And I'll make sure that I don't say anything that would upset anybody that's in the utility mindset. But no, the utility mindset is definitely different from the standpoint of they are charged with doing something for their customer. They are definitely regulated beyond all belief and everything. So they do a lot of things, but it might take them a little bit longer because they have to. first job is making sure that your lights come on.
Right.
And that's their job. The retail electricity provider, while they're concerned about that, don't get me wrong, it's not their first job. So yes, I would say that mindset of the rep, as we call it, is much more prone to push this type of effort.
And they want to look for features that can differentiate themselves.
Absolutely, and that's differentiate themselves as a company, but even their product offering, because today they have, there's over 90 competitors in the Texas market. They've got a ton of different plans that they offer, whether they're time of use, short-term plans, long-term plans, green plans, and this gives them another product aspect to market.
So it really sounds like competition is going to be a big element to driving this, what we're seeing here at the Smart Energy.
I think it will. The difficult that we see, though, is you always have the utility in the equation, right? And they've got to get the meters installed. So it's not like you're going to go down to Home Depot and buy a meter and install it on your house, right? So you always need the utility in there. But could the competitive environments drive it faster? I believe they could.
Okay. Well, John, I appreciate your time.
All right.
Thanks.
Thanks a lot.